I've been asking this question recently at talks, and it's got kind of, well, it's not really a question, it's more of a bit of a statement, really. And I've noticed I've got quite a good response to it. And what I really wanted to do was obviously kind of put it down on tape, so to speak, really. And it deals with the proposition of, the theory that everything is consciousness. Obviously, there's different ways of seeing this reality, but the thing I find is the majority of people who come to see me ascribe to the theory that, look, it's all consciousness, and it's, beingness is doing and being whatever it wishes to. So what I try to do is, obviously there's a question with this, there's a bit of a statement with this, and it's like, look, if you are conscious, this is everything is consciousness, that means my very true essence and nature is consciousness. And the person I'm speaking to is seeking is obviously consciousness as well. However, in the story here, consciousness is supposedly found. In the story there, consciousness is supposedly not found. And the question I ask is, well, if you're consciousness, then why did you choose to split? Why did you choose to seek? And the reason I ask that is because sometimes people tend to think that, well, consciousness is this, intelligence, this thing, it's also random, and there's nothing that can be done, there's nothing that can be said, which negates the whole idea of coming to meetings, or even going sitting with people, or even really even going out there and starting to seek, really. And really, the thing is, that comes from the viewpoint that it's something separate from you. So consciousness is this amazing thing, and then there's you, little old you, who's seeking and has seemed to have forgotten it, and yet there's nowhere you can go where it isn't consciousness. Every single thing is consciousness. So basically, your seeking then is consciousness seeking itself, which basically means there was a time when consciousness decided to split. Now, there was a logic, there was a reason, there was something behind the whole idea of splitting. So what I say to people is, look, okay, let's go with the idea we're all consciousness. If we're all conscious, there's nothing that isn't us, which basically means that if we take responsibility for the fact that we are consciousness, we are everything we survey, then the very act of seeking, the very act of, the very act of splitting in two was something that you, which is what you really are, decided to do. Now, there was some sort of a logic, some sort of, I don't know, intuitive urge, or whatever you want to call it, that created this situation whereby you decided that it was, in a sense, safer to split into two than to be one, even if it was a cosmic joke, even though it's from a point of security. And if you identify that reason, then you can examine that reason as to why, in a sense, as consciousness, you chose to split in two. And in a sense, by identifying that, looking at it, seeing what fear that may bring up, or what logic or what thought or idea that may bring up. Because when agitation starts happening and you start looking for another way to obviously live your life from a point of wholeness, what you'll find is what that basically means now, consciousness is not happy with this model. So help it along. Self-inquiry, who am I, what am I, why did I decide to split in two? And there's a reason why these questions, and they're almost like, in a sense, almost a method as well, that they will put down so that you can, in a sense, talk to yourself. I was talking to this lovely young lady, and she kind of went, there's times when she talks to herself to resolve things. And, it's a great way. Why not? Just make sure you don't get caught doing it in public. But the point is, yes, vocalize what it is, and ask yourself, well, why was it that I decided that this way of living and viewing reality was better than that way? Because remember, you are consciousness. It's all you. So there is some decision that you've made, your essence, your source, what you truly are, which, remember, is not separate from everything else, made. And by asking yourself these questions, well, why did I do this? Why did I choose to split it in two? You can find that your reasons as to why you're still seeking can come up, or why you choose to believe the whole idea that you're limited. Mostly, sometimes it's from a place of security. So, we got to that point, and, it was supposedly dangerous to not feel connected to everything. So we wanted to reassert the whole idea. So it was security. Well, how would being whole now bring you security? And what you'll find is, what you can, in a sense, is tip yourself over. Hence, things like mantras, things like self-inquiry, zikr, are already there just to move from one paradigm to another. So, they're tools. Use them. Whatever works for you works. And as like I say to people, you will hear exactly what you want to hear from here. Because it would be preposterous for me to assume that I could kind of get past all the thoughts and ideas and filters that you've got going on there. So the thing is, you're, even then at a talk, when you go to see any teacher, you're picking up what you actually need, which means you're really, really powerful. You are able to split in two. Well, then you can rejoin. So is there something that consciousness can do to wake up? Of course, it's consciousness. If it can split, and going by that logic, it can also bring itself back together. And hence, that was the reason why there were methods.